Hello friends, today we shall start with the business services. In that we have to begin the service of banking. In our earlier lecture we have discussed regarding the features of the business services. So the various features like the business services are intangible, business services are non-transferable, they are heterogeneous, participation of a customer is a must. So the various features we have already discussed, and now we have to begin with the business services. In that the first one is the banking. As regarding the bank is concerned, the bank it provides the finance, the money to the business. So the finance, which is a lifeblood of a business, without which the business cannot be carried on. So such finance is made available by the banks. So such finance is provided to the agricultural sector, it is provided to the business sector, and even it is also provided to the consumers to purchase the various consumer durable goods. So such that is the finance is provided by the banks, and the services of a bank are very crucial, they are very important to carry on the business very smoothly, efficiently and successfully. Now we have to study, today we have to study regarding the bank. In that we have to study the meaning of a bank, the definition of a bank. We have to study regarding the functions of the commercial banks, and then we have to study the types of banks. So this we have to study in the banking topic is concerned. Now we shall begin with the meaning of the bank is concerned. So bank, it is a financial institution where the accepting of the deposit and lending of the loans and the advances and the investment of the surplus is done. So such institution, such financial institution, we call it as the bank. Now as regarding the term bank is concerned, so the bank, it is derived from the French language. It is derived from the French language known as banco, the meaning of which is the bench. So in the olden days, the money lenders, they used to exchange the money, they lend the money on bench and the tables. They used to show the different coins of a different, that is the denominations, on a bench or on the table. So that's why the term, that is the bank, has came into existence. To have the complete meaning of the bank, we have to study the definition given by the Banking Regulation Act, the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. So the definition is given to you. As per the Indian Banking Regulation Act of 1949, banking company means any company which transacts the business of banking in India. And the word banking has been defined as accepting for the purpose of lending or investment of deposits of money from public, repayable on demand or otherwise, and withdrawable by check, draft and order or otherwise. So this is the definition given by the Indian Banking Regulation Act of 1949. So according to this definition, a bank means any company which carries on the business of, that is the banking, carries on the business of a banking is called as the bank. Business of banking in India, so it is called as the bank. Now again, the term banking is again defined in the act. So banking means what? Banking means accepting for the purpose of lending. So accepting of the money for the purpose of lending to the needy persons, to the businessman, or for investment of the deposit. So whatever the amount is received, so it is accepted and it is lent, or if any, that is the surplus is left, then again the investment of such fund or the money is done, and such amount can be repayable. Such amount can be repayable on demand. So whenever it is demanded by the deposit holder, so such amount is to be repaid, or such amount can also be withdrawn by the customers, by the deposit holders, by through, that is the check or the draft, or even by other, that is the means. The other means, that is the check, the money may be transferred. So such, that is the meaning is given by the banking, that is the Indian Banking Regulation Act of 1949. So from this definition we come to know that banking means, that is the accepting the money for the purpose of lending, accepting the money in the form of deposits, in the form of various deposits, and lending such money to the needy persons, those who are in need of money. For such, that is the person, the money is to be lent, it is to be given, and such money can be repayable to the deposit holders whenever it is demanded, or even such money can be paid through the check or the draft, or even by the other means such repayment of the amount can be done. So it is known as the banking. Now we have to study the functions of the commercial bank. So today we have to begin with the functions of the commercial bank. So as regarding the functions of a commercial banks are concerned, so it is given to you the functions of the commercial bank. Mainly, that is the primary functions and the secondary functions. So primary functions, it includes the accepting of the deposit. First one is the accepting of the deposit, and second one is the granting or lending the loans and the advances. So these are the two primary functions, accepting of deposit, and second one is the lending or granting the loans and advances. Then the secondary functions includes the agency functions and the utility functions. Now we have to study all these functions in detail. So first we shall begin with the primary functions. So as regarding the primary functions are concerned, the primary function, the first one is the accepting of deposits. So the banks are concerned, the bank, it is a financial institution which lends, which accepts the money through the various, that is the deposits, and it lends the money to the needy person, needy people. Now here in this case, the bank, it accepts the deposit from the public, and such, that is the deposits are accepted through the various deposits. There are various, that is the deposits, they are called as the time deposit and the demand deposit. So there are two types in case of accepting of deposits are concerned. As you know very well, accepting of deposits are concerned, the money can be accepted from the deposit holders through the various deposits. There are different deposit accounts are there, like the fixed deposit account, recurring account, saving account, current account. These are the various types of deposits. Now these types of deposits, they are again classified in two categories, that is called as the time deposit, or it is also called as the term deposit. It is also called as the term deposit, and the second one is the demand deposit. Now first we shall begin with the time deposit or the term deposit. So the meaning itself suggests time deposit means such money which is accepted from the public is kept only for a particular period. The particular time period is mentioned, till that period, such that is the money is kept in the bank, and then it is refund, that is repaid to the customer after a certain period of time. So that is called as the time deposit, or it is also called as the term deposit. So it is kept for a particular term. The term may be 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, or even that is the 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, as the case may be. So the amount is kept for a fixed period of a time. So that's why it is called as the time deposit, or it is called as the term deposit. Now the time deposit or the term deposits are of two types. One is called as the fixed deposit and another one is called as the recurring deposit. So first we shall begin with the fixed deposit. So the name itself suggests fixed deposit means the amount is kept, a particular amount is kept for a fixed period of time, and the deposit holder, he gets the more amount of interest on it. So that is called as the fixed deposit. Take for example a certain amount, for example a 10,000 rupees are kept in a bank for a particular time period. The time period, it depends upon the customer. He may select any such a time from 15 days to 5 years. From 15 days to 5 years he can select any period, and he can keep such money in the bank in the fixed deposit account. And after his term, the term may be 1 year or 2 years, after the completion of a term, on the maturity date, such amount is paid to the deposit holder, that is to the fixed deposit holder, along with the interest. Along with the interest it is given. And for that, the fixed deposit holder, he gets a receipt called as the fixed deposit receipt. So such that is the fixed deposit receipt is to be produced at the time of getting the amount of a maturity. And interest on the fixed deposit is generally higher than the any other type of account, that is the saving account, current account is concerned. The interest given is always more. Once the amount is kept in the fixed deposit, then it cannot be withdrawn by the customer before the completion of the time period. The time period may be, that is 1 year, 2 year, whatever it may be. The deposit holder is not allowed to withdraw the amount. But if he is in need of, that is the money, he can get the loan against such a fixed deposit receipt. So he has to deposit, he has to give the fixed deposit receipt to the bank, and against which the customer he gets the loan of 90% of the amount which is deposited in it, and the interest charged is also more than whatever he receives on the fixed deposit. So this is as regarding the fixed deposit is concerned. The persons, those who have a surplus of money with them, so such that is the middle class or the rich class persons, they can go for the fixed deposit. So they can open such a fixed deposit account and they can keep such a surplus fund or the money with the bank. So this is as regarding the fixed deposit is concerned. Then the second one is the recurring deposit. The time deposit is concerned, it is of two types. One is called as the fixed deposit and another one is the recurring deposit. So recurring deposit means here the investor, that is the customer, he keeps a certain amount every month over a certain period of time, and after completion of that period he gets all such a principal amount and the interest after the expiry of that period. So that is called as the recurring deposit amount. So here in this case the customer he decides a certain amount which is to be kept every, that is the month. So every month he may keep 100 rupees, he may deposit the 100 rupees or 500 rupees, and such 100 rupees or 500 rupees is to be deposited over a certain period of a time. The time period may be, that is the 12 months or 2 years or 3 years. For a such longer period of a time such amount is kept, and after the completion of such time period he will get all such amount which is deposited along with the interest. So that is called as the recurring deposit. So the persons, those who are having the regular income or the salaried person, they can keep such amount in the recurring deposit, and even the interest which is given on the recurring deposit is more as compared to the saving account and the current account. Here also in the recurring deposit account, the deposit holder cannot withdraw the amount from the recurring deposit till, that is the completion of that period. So he is not allowed to withdraw any amount. He can get that amount only after the completion of that period. Excuse me. So for the recurring deposit holder, he gets a separate, that is the recurring, that is the passbook, and every month, that is the entries are made in the recurring deposit, so that the recurring account deposit holder, he comes to know how much amount he has deposited, what is the total amount at a particular, that is the period of a time, he will come to know on the basis of such a passbook. So it is the another account called as the recurring deposit account. Now next we shall discuss regarding the demand deposit. So the demand deposit means, the name itself suggests that whenever it is demanded by the customer, the banker has to make the payment. He has to give the money from the account to the customer. So that is called as the demand deposits. So demand deposits are of two types. Mainly that is the saving account and the current account. So first one is the saving account. So as regarding the saving account is concerned, so such saving account is opened by the persons or the businessman having the regular income, and even the salaried person, they prefer to open such a saving account. So the main purpose or the intention of the saving account is to promote the habit of saving among the investor, among the deposit holder. So for that purpose, such that is the account is kept called as the saving account. Now, as regarding the saving account is concerned, the rate of interest is less as compared to the fixed deposit and the recurring account. Then, as regarding the withdrawal of the amount and the time of withdrawal is concerned, there is a restriction. There is a restriction. So the saving account holder cannot withdraw the account, that is the amount, again and again, or the number of times which the amount is to be withdrawn is has certain restriction. So as the restrictions are concerned, the restrictions are generally a saving account holder can withdraw the amount 2 to 3 times in a week, not more than that. Or it is generally allowed, that is the 48 times in a 6 month. 48 times in a 6 month, such that is the amount can be withdrawn. Or even the limitation is there as regarding the amount is concerned. So the saving account holder cannot withdraw the amount more than 1 lakh rupees at a time. If the saving account holder wants to withdraw the money more than 1 lakh rupees, then well in advance he has to give the intimation to the banker that he is going to withdraw the amount more than the 1 lakh rupees, or the special permission is to be taken from the banker to withdraw the amount. So such kind of restrictions are mainly kept in order to promote the saving habit among the investors. So it is regarding the saving account is concerned. Even as regarding the saving account is concerned, so even there is another facility which is provided, that the bankers, they have provided, that the flexi deposit account, or it is also called as the multiple option deposit account. Multiple option deposit account. So in case of this account, it is not a separate account, but only such a facility is provided to the saving account holder, that if his account or his amount crosses a certain limit, then his amount is automatically transferred to the fixed deposit. So this gives the benefit of both the saving account as well as the fixed deposit account. So such option is provided. So that's why it is called multiple option deposit account. So take for example, the customer, he may decide, if the saving account balance crosses more than 50,000 rupees, then the excess of a fund is to be transferred to the fixed deposit account. So that is the another, that is the service or the facility which is provided by the banker. And if his, that is the, if the customer has issued any, that is the check costing worth rupees 60,000 and his limit is 50,000, then from the fixed deposit automatically the money is transferred to the saving account and the check is cleared. So such, that is the facility is provided, known as the flexi deposit or multiple option deposit account. So it is not a separate, that is the account, it is a facility which is provided to the saving account holder in various, that is the banks. Then next we shall discuss the another type called as the current account. So current account is concerned, so current account is generally opened by the businessman. So the businessman, as he has to carry on all such business transactions through the bank itself, so the number of times in a day he has to deposit the amount, withdraw the amount. So for that purpose he prefers the current account. So current account means, current account is one where the customer can deposit the amount at any number of times in a day, and he can withdraw the amount any number of times in a day. So that is called as the current account. So there is no any restriction as regarding the withdrawal and the deposit of the amount is concerned. In case of a saving account, there are restrictions regarding the withdrawal is concerned. As regarding the deposit is concerned, there are no restrictions, but as regarding the withdrawal is concerned, the restrictions are there. But in case of a current account, such kind of a restriction is not there. So such account we call it as the current account. So it is opened by the businessman. Then the current account holder, he gets the one more, that is the facility called as the overdraft facility. So the current account holder can get the more amount than the amount which is there in his account. So that is called as the overdraft facility. No doubt for that purpose he has to make a prior, that is agreement with the banker, then only he gets the overdraft facility. Then current account is concerned, no, that is the interest is provided on the deposit of the money in the current account. Saving account will get the interest, or the other accounts they get the more amount of interest, but generally for the current account holder, no interest is provided to them. Then even the current account holder, he gets a checkbook facility, or he gets even the passbook facility. So such, that is the facilities are provided to the current account holder. So these are the various, that is the types of accounts are concerned. So in our next lecture we shall discuss the next, that is the function called as the granting of loans and advance.